Can a felon become a real estate agent? To become a real estate salesperson, not only that you are required to complete the pre-licensing education and pass the exam, but the Regulatory Commission will also conduct a background check on you. After all, buying or selling a property is one of the most important transactions for many people. You'll have access to client-sensitive information. Also, there are many instances that you would work alone with clients. Therefore, the Regulatory Commission has the responsibility to ensure public interest can be protected whenever they issue a real estate license. So can a felon become a real estate agent? Yes, it is possible. The State Commission will review the license application on a case-by-case basis. But the decision is subjected to their discretion. Which states allow felons to have a real estate license? Although all states' regulatory boards have the duty to conduct a thorough investigation before granting a license, they could have different rules when it comes to reviewing an application with a felony record. For example, some are more lenient and may consider your application after 2 to 5 years of finishing the sentence. If the offense is more severe, you may be required to wait for 10 years. The period would depend on the severity of the conviction. On the other hand, some states have a very stringent rule. They pretty much restrict anyone with a felony in getting the real estate license. I've heard that Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, California are some of the hardest states to get a real estate license with a felony record. However, each state may hold a different viewpoint on the severity of the conviction. So it is difficult to make an apple-to-apple comparison as to which states are easy to apply. What type of questions about the conviction will be asked? I reviewed real estate license applications of numerous states. Most of them would require you to disclose the following: the description and nature of the felony, the date that the incident occurred. Is this an one-time incident or recurring offenses? Does it have any relationship to a real estate practice? What was the penalty or sentence involved? Are there any activities since the completion of the sentence? For example, rehabilitation, treatment, employment, education. Also, are there any pending charges? Here's a couple of felony questions I saw on an application. Sample question number 1: have you ever been convicted of any violation of the law at the misdemeanor or felony level? Sample number 2: are there criminal charges pending against you at this time? Or are you currently awaiting judgment and sentencing following entry of a plea or jury verdict? When answering the questions, make sure to fully disclose what the licensing board is asking for. I understand that you might have a concern that your application would get rejected. But one way or the other, the truth will eventually reveal itself. You need to demonstrate that you can be a trustworthy professional. Then start by being honest in the application process. What documents do you need to provide? If you answer yes to any of the felony questions, the licensing board typically would require further documentation about the conviction. For example, the Minnesota Department of Commerce Real Estate would require a written statement explaining the circumstances of each incident, a copy of the charging document, and a copy of the sentencing order. It is an official document that shows the resolution of the charges or any final judgment. Do real estate agents get background checks? Yes, many real estate boards would conduct a background check on their applicants. They typically would require an electronic fingerprint. You would need to go through this process with a vendor that is approved by the board. You need to visit their office location in person. Make sure to bring along a valid government-issued photo ID. Here are 5 helpful tips when applying for the license. Number 1. Be honest. As you could see, most regulatory boards will conduct a background check on criminal records. They will match your answers with their findings. If they find any discrepancy which you cannot reasonably explain, you're running into a huge risk of getting your license application revoked. Number 2. Get reference letters. Everyone could say nice things about themselves, but it wouldn't be as nearly trustworthy if the comment comes from a third-party person. If you are currently employed, you may ask your employer or supervisor for a reference letter. Some people find it challenging because they were unable to get employed after they served their sentences. In that case, you may look into the re-entry programs in your state. They help people with felony records to transition back into society. Number 3. Expungement or sealing. These are legal procedures that might help the felony record. According to findlaw.com, expungement, also called expunction, is a court-ordered process in which the legal record of an arrest or a criminal conviction is sealed, or erased in the eyes of the law. However, I'm not a lawyer and not trying to give any legal advice. So you should discuss your circumstance with a licensed attorney and the regulatory board in your state. Number 4. Consult the licensing board. Getting a real estate license does require your time and investment. It could take months for you to complete the pre-licensing education and passing the exam. Before you start jumping through all the hoops, it is wise to get an opinion from the regulatory board in your state. For instance, in Colorado, you could submit a preliminary advisory opinion to the Real Estate Commission. They will be able to determine the effect of the offense on licensure. Number 5. Have a well-written resume and a cover letter. A well-formatted resume is a way to show that you are willing to comply with the standard of society. In the cover letter, don't just focus on why you need the real estate license. You need to reassure the licensing board that you have learned your lesson and will not make the same mistake again. Most importantly, you will respect and follow the compliance rules set out by the regulators. Also, have someone with good writing skills to proofread the cover letter. But make sure the person is trustworthy because what you wrote could be confidential. So I hope you'll find this video helpful. If you want to know more about the different real estate professions, be sure to subscribe to our channel. You may also visit us at realestatecareerhq.com. I'll also leave a link in the description box below, so you could read the full article of this topic. Thanks for watching. See you next time.